A high-profile murder retrial is off to a late start. Eric Hernandez with what's holding things up and why the case is back in front of a jury.
It's been nearly 1 year since the shooting at Robb Elementary, and the victims' loved ones are dealing with new disappointments. Their reaction to the inaction in Austin next.
Live from KSAT12, the news at noon starts right now.
Arson investigators trying to figure out why a house that should have been empty instead was filled up with fire.
Firefighters found flames and smoke pouring out of that vacant house on South San Augustine Avenue when they arrived early this morning.
Katrina Weber reports they believe the fire is part of a dangerous and disturbing trend that they've been seeing lately.
San Antonio firefighters wasted no time. As soon as they arrived in the 700 block of South San Augustine, they quickly attacked the smoke and flames coming from a house.
Our first engine crew, they reported a fully involved structure. We could actually see it from Commerce or from a ways off.
Police officers had noticed it first from nearby and called fire crews shortly after 4 this morning, then let them know that no one was inside.
No utilities to the structure, so it was vacant. There were squatters going in and out. There's evidence of activity.
Arson investigators spent time looking for evidence of exactly what caused the fire. Fire crews suspect people had a hand in it.
We've been seeing a lot of vacant structures that are actually catching fire.
We've seen it too. Just last Thursday, some of the same firefighters put out a fire in a vacant home with a lot of history, one that had stood on West Poplar Street nearly 100 years. Across the city, fire also has burned through other empty homes and buildings recently. One about a month ago sent up flames and smoke across the southeast side. So far, the losses are limited to property. No one was hurt in this fire, but firefighters say in a situation like this, things can easily go wrong. The fire can spread to other homes or even put them in danger. Before that happens, they ask everyone to take action by reporting any activity in and near vacant buildings. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Let's go outside with live cam. Just stepped outside a few minutes ago. It's a beautiful looking day, but it's already pretty humid out there.
More humid than it was yesterday, David, and that's a very astute observation because dew points are up, and so that means the heat index is going to be more of a problem today than it was yesterday. Not only that, temperatures are also going to be warmer this afternoon. What about rain? Are you going to have to dodge any showers or storms? I don't think so. There is a chance as we get into tonight and into tomorrow night that some storms can make their way down from the Texas Panhandle, but I don't think this is going to be a big impact situation. So for the most part, everyone's going to see dry weather. We'll watch those two time frames closely, but again, the odds of getting rain are pretty small. Speaking of that, the heat index, as I just said, it's going to feel like it's in the low 90s today. We'll watch what goes on in the Panhandle this afternoon. That will have a bearing on our forecast tonight. And we've kind of touched on what's going on in Guam because there's a major typhoon, Mawar, that is affecting the island there. Of course, we're Military USA here. A lot of folks know some folks that are serving over there in Guam, so we want to get you an update on what's going on there in the Pacific. 83 degrees right now, 69 the dew point. That's that high number we were talking about. So very humid with south-southeasterly winds at about 7. In our KSAT 12-hour forecast, 87 at 3 o'clock, 88 4 p.m. By 5 o'clock, 89. Then down into the 80s, low 80s by 9, 10 o'clock, and eventually some 70s by tomorrow morning. We'll have much more on this forecast as we head into the Memorial Day weekend. That's coming up here in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Justin.
It is the retrial that we have been waiting for more than 3 years. Mark Howerton on trial again for the 2017 murder of Trinity University student Kaylee Mendadi.
She was a sophomore cheerleader who'd been dating Howerton, but died in his company after what he called rough sex. Erica Hernandez is covering this retrial. She joins us live from the Justice Centers now. Erica, we've been waiting for this new trial since before the COVID pandemic, but another delay this morning, huh?
Yeah, that's correct, Ursula. There was a tense back and forth between defense attorney John Hunter and 144th District Court Judge Michael Mary. Now, they were arguing about whether Mandati's mother should be allowed to stay in the courtroom during the trial. Now, after about a 2-hour delay and a lot of back and forth, Mandati's mother, Allison Steele, was allowed to stay since the defense couldn't say for sure if they were going to call her up as a witness. Now, the last time Mark Howerton was on trial was in 2019. He is now 27 years old. The initial incident took place back on October 2017. Howerton showed up with an unconscious Kaylee Mandati covered in bruises at a Lockhart hospital. She died 2 days later from blunt force trauma to the head, and 4 months later, Howerton was charged with her murder. This morning, both sides presented opening statements laying out their case. The state saying Howerton beat Mandati has given conflicting statements and can never say why she had so many injuries on her body. But the defense saying the state is making it all up and has no idea what happened. Now, the defense also stating Mandati had a large amount of MDMA or Molly in her system that led to her death. Now, our cameras are not allowed in this courtroom for this trial, but I will be staying inside to make sure to figure out how this case will end up. But if he does get found guilty, he is facing up to life in prison. David, Ursula?
So you were saying that Howerton's defense team did not want Kaylee's mother in the courtroom. Is she there now?
She is there now. The judge ruled that she could remain in there because the defense couldn't say for sure or not that they would be calling her to the stand as a witness.
So we know this is the second trial. Why did that first trial end in that mistrial?
Yeah, you guys, it was because of a jury. The jury could not decide a guilt for him. They couldn't come up with a not guilty or a guilty verdict. It ended in a hung jury, and that's why we sit here again today hearing this trial all over again.
And the second jury to be seated, determining Howerton's guilt or innocence. There has been a lot of news coverage on this trial, on Howerton and on Kaylee. Is it difficult to find another set of jurors for such a high-profile case?
I would say so, Ursula, for both the defense and the prosecution. They called probably more than 100 people in yesterday just to make sure they found the 12 people who could be unbiased in this case. And hopefully time was on their side and that some people forgot from the last time that this was in trial about this case. And they were able to find a jury, and that jury is a makeup of about 9 women and 4 men.
So we mentioned a mistrial in the first trial that happened back in 2019. So what has Howerton been doing since that mistrial was declared?
Well, Howerton has been on bond the entire time since he was arrested back in 2018 and charged. He's been able to post bond then, and he has remained out on bond since then. And today walking in with his defense attorney, John Hunter.
All right, Erica, thank you very much for that information. We'll let you get back into the courtroom, and you have more for us on KSAT12 News at 5 this afternoon. Appreciate it.
The struggle to get, we wanted to tell you that, again, we have more information on this case going on KSAT.com. You can read all about it and find out why it's back on trial today in San Antonio. The struggle to get bills to Governor Greg Abbott's desk by next week's deadline proving to be tough. Among those dozens and dozens of pieces of legislation that are calling for stronger gun laws, that likely won't make it in before the end of the session. It's a big disappointment for Uvalde families who have fought all session long even to just get these bills out of committee. Manuel Rizzo, he is the uncle of Jackie Casares, had some strong words for lawmakers in Austin today.
Not a single bill was prioritized to save a human life. From the governor to the Speaker of the House, Lieutenant Governor to the head of every single committee, they are failed legislators. Well, congratulations. You just told every single Texan and every single visitor to Texas that you don't give a damn about the families of Uvalde and the other mass shootings that have occurred. And more importantly, that will still continue to occur because you didn't do a darn thing.
Jackie Casares was one of the 21 victims in the Robb Elementary School shooting last year on May 24th.
Leaders of Uvalde are asking for respect and privacy as we approach the one-year mark of the Robb Elementary School shooting tomorrow. Starting tonight, several roads in town will be closed, in particular the ones around the Robb Elementary School, the downtown plaza, the Civic Center, and the murals of the 21 victims. City leaders say they're doing this to give the victims' families privacy. There will be an event before a public candlelight vigil at 7:30 p.m. at the Uvalde Memorial Park Amphitheater. We will have live team coverage from Uvalde starting tomorrow morning on GMSA and leading up to our special 1 year in Uvalde. And our special airs tomorrow at 9 p.m. here on KSAT12. We're also streaming it on KSAT Plus and our YouTube page.
A new warning for migrants not to cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. The Rio Grande Valley Border Patrol Chief, Gloria Chavez, delivering her message on the agency's main Instagram account in Spanish. She said in the last few days, 90% of immigrants who entered the U.S. illegally have been deported. She added it's not just adults being deported, but families too. Chavez showed a video of single adults and families, including those with children, getting deported. She says migrants should use legal pathways to enter the U.S.
Now to those debt ceiling talks. President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy meeting for more than an hour last night, trying to work through a compromise.
Both leaders saying the talks were productive, but still no deal. ABC's Morgan Norwood with why both sides say they might, though, have just turned a corner last night.
Fresh hope in Washington and the nation after President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy both said they had productive talks during their face-to-face negotiations Monday as they try to reach a compromise to raise the debt limit so the government can pay its bills.
I think the tone tonight was better than any other time we've had discussions. We still will have some philosophical differences.
We're optimistic we may be able to make some progress because we both agreed default's not really on the table. We got to get something done here.
But the two leaving the talks without a deal. Neither side willing to lay out any areas of potential compromise. White House and Republican negotiators, though, back on Capitol Hill today, resuming their urgent talks. Republicans have been demanding that Biden and Democrats slash spending, streamline oil and gas projects, and impose new work requirements for those receiving federal aid. The president equally firm in pushing for tax increases on the wealthiest Americans and large companies. But if they can't come to an agreement, financial experts say the U.S. economy could plummet into recession, with millions losing their jobs. Social Security and Medicare recipients will not get their checks, and troops will go unpaid. The heads of the U.S. military's branches warning it would have an immediate and dramatic impact on readiness.
Everything that we do would be dramatically affected.
And while the Treasury Secretary has set the deadline for default at 9 days from now, there's actually less time than that. Any deal would need to be considered by House members for 72 hours and then pass both the House and the Senate. Now, currently, the House is only in session for 2 more days due to the Memorial Day recess, so the pressure is on to get a deal done right now. Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Washington.
Just in case you missed it last night, the Lakers swept out of the playoffs, and we might have seen the last of LeBron James on the court. We'll hear from him coming up in sports.
Getting a job after high school, getting easier if you have a plan. We're going to show you one way kids at a local high school are getting theirs in gear.
It is a class in automotive education and is attracting a lot of students at Medina Valley High School. It's not just about learning to change a tire or a light bulb. It's about learning the technical and mechanical repairs of a vehicle.
And it's not just for their personal cars, it's for a career. Tiffany Huerta shows us what they're learning now that could pay off for a lifetime.
We built the transmission on this car.
Liliana Cortez has learned the ins and outs of this vehicle.
And I've done a lot of maintenance on here.
She's gained several skills through the automotive program at Medina Valley High School, and it's prepared her for after graduation.
I'm gonna go to a tech school and be an automotive instructor.
We also have students working on air conditioning repair. We have suspension and wheel alignment.
Automotive teacher Russell Alvarez says this program provides different opportunities, leading other students to jobs at companies like Toyota and Navistar.
We have a few students graduating as master technicians, ASC master technicians. So there's a lot of stuff that we offer here at the school. We're also dual credit certified. So next year we're going to have our first batch of students graduate with their associate's degree and also being able to be master certified.
I have gained a lot of leadership skills, especially really taking charge on a project.
The automotive program is growing. They're adding another class next school year, and they're expecting about 250 students to participate.
Right here?
For anyone interested, Cortez recommends the program and says it's changed her life.
I would definitely encourage them to join because it's really fun and you learn a lot.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT12 News.
At least you got fan going on in that automotive shop because it's
Yeah,
hot outside.
gonna be needing those fans the next couple of months.
Ooh, yeah, it kind of feels like it's setting in now, right? We feel the heat and we just know it kind of ramps up from here, but it is what it is. And today is going to be a warm day. The aquifer holding steady, 648 even, no change there. And then your pollen count, mold came way down today from that really high number yesterday. It's at 960 moderate. Grass is low at 10. Coming up, we're going to take you out to the Pacific and check in on the typhoon going on out there. It's coming up.
I don't know if you heard it, but Justin gave David a great compliment.
Astute observation.
It was. You were right.
Don't hear that too often.
All you got to do is go outside, and
I know.
You don't need to be too astute to figure out it's really humid.
I mean,
your hair will tell you.
It's true. And David's done many jobs around here, but I think meteorologists could next in line. Could happen.
I'm trying. Don't go home in the middle of a forecast.
Okay, I won't. Let's talk tropics, guys. We want to take you out to the Pacific, and I mentioned this earlier. We got to focus in on the island of Guam and why. Well, we have a massive typhoon that's headed that way, Mawar, and we mention this because there's a military base there, of course, an Air Force base, naval base, and we do know that there are folks working out there. Being here in Military City, USA, you may know someone out in Guam, and this is going to cause, unfortunately, I think, some damage here. Now, the satellite picture is a little shaky. The one piece of good news here is you see the eye wall right there? See how it goes away towards the end? Typically, hurricanes that are weakening or typhoons that are weakening a little bit, you'll see the eye kind of fall apart. So hopefully it is weakening some, but at last check, winds were at 155 miles per hour. And this is moving northwest at 7. And this is forecast to move right over the island of Guam and then continue to progress west as we get later this week. So hopefully there isn't too much damage there, but it is something to watch out for. Meantime, back where we are, we've got some clouds starting to build here around our area. Partly cloudy skies for most of us at this hour. A little thicker out to the west, but just about everywhere you go, you're going to find some of these cumulus clouds. They're not going to develop into showers or storms, just fair weather cumulus clouds, and we'll see that throughout the afternoon. Where we will see some storms up here in the Texas Panhandle. We've been talking about this the last couple of days. This is the area we're going to watch because once we get some development up here, and this is 5 o'clock today, okay, so we're fast forwarding a little bit, but this is what the radar could look like around 5 o'clock. And then these storms may gather into a larger complex. And once they do, the upper level winds try to bring them a little closer to us. Now, I think a lot of the activity is going to be north of San Antonio. So the hill country will need to watch out. I think here in San Antonio, we probably won't see much, but this model does show a couple of lingering showers as this thing kind of falls apart as it moves southeast. This is at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Something to watch. I don't think this is going to be a big issue for us. And then as we get into tomorrow, same thing happens. We get storms developing across West Texas, and the flow brings it a little closer to San Antonio potentially by Thursday morning. There is a severe weather risk there. The Storm Prediction Center has parts of our area in the isolated risk, but I'd say it's very low wind because by the time this complex of storms makes it here, it will be significantly weakened, if it does at all. 83 right now. Dew point is at 69. South-southeasterly winds at 7. Our forecast today, 86 at 2 o'clock. We top out at 89, 80s through about 10 o'clock. Then we drop down into the 70s. A lot of humidity, of course, and then we add in some very small rain chances. And if you're curious about the humidity, it does come down a little bit as we head into the weekend, but not much. Pretty humid all the way through. So small chances Wednesday and Thursday morning. We'll watch for that. Otherwise, looks like a pretty quiet weekend. Now, Memorial Day does show some signs of maybe some showers and storms right now. A 20% chance, guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Hey, we said it before, and we get to say it again. The Roadrunners have a chance to make history on the diamond. Coming up. At the UTSA Roadrunners, a couple of wins away from another mark in history. The 2-seed Roadrunners will open Conference USA tournament play tomorrow in Houston against 7-seed Middle Tennessee in a double elimination tournament. The Roadrunners swept the Blue Raiders 3-0 earlier in the season with an RPI of 64. The Roadrunners feel they have the win this tournament to advance to the College World Series. Last year they didn't, losing in the finals, and that cost them a trip to Omaha.
Certainly, the guys on the team last year feel that way after we did make it to the finals last year. And so we're ready to do that again. We feel even better this year than we did this time last year. So if we were able to make it all the way to the finals last year, we feel like we can do that again now.
Oh, for sure. Just like last year, we had to go into the tournament and show that we belonged and that we can compete still against good teams at the end of the season. So just like last year, got to go and do our best, win some games.
I always like a player who's got that hat with all that sweat on it. I tell you, he's been working really hard this year. That's good stuff. UTSA will face Middle Tennessee once again tomorrow at 12:30 from Reckling Park on the Rice campus. Last night could have been the last game for LeBron James, and the Denver Nuggets are headed to the finals for the first time ever, sweeping LeBron and the Lakers. ABC's DeMarco Morgan has the highlights.
It's over! It's over! This morning, the first ticket to the NBA Finals has been punched. Denver makes history. The Nuggets are going to the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets edging out the LA Lakers 113-111 to sweep the series and head to the finals for the first time in their franchise history. On the inbound, Jokic drives and puts it up and in. Denver star Nikola Jokic putting up 30 points.
Everybody will step up, and I think it's a collective effort. It's not just one guy.
But questions surrounding the future of Lakers superstar LeBron James. The 38-year-old poured in 40 points in the game. James backs in using his strength. Couple of fakes, layup, shots good, and one. Afterwards, he alluded to the possibility this could have been the last game of his career.
I had a lot to think about, to be honest, and just for me personally, going forward with the game of basketball, got a lot to think about.
Yeah, he does. We'll see how that goes. That was ABC's DeMarco Morgan reporting. Now, the Nuggets are finals bound. They're waiting to see who they're going to play. It'll either be one of those two teams, the Heat or the Celtics. They face off for Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals right now. Miami leads that series 3-0 because there will be another sweep in the Western Conference Finals and then the Eastern Conference Finals. You can see tip-off is tonight at 7:30. Felt really good for the Nuggets. Remember when the Spurs got into the finals? They were an old ABA team, got into the NBA, and finally made it to the finals. And now the Nuggets, I think it's been 40-something years since they've been in there.
I have to say, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I can't think of another time that the Lakers were swept.
That's a good question. In the Western Conference Finals?
I don't think so.
Sorry, LeBron.
We're not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. A local heart surgery patient undergoing life-saving treatment made possible by a robot. How she says the procedure gave her life back.
And how'd you sleep last night? Good? Bad? Not so good? For a lot of people, the quality of their sleep isn't good and can be a combination of things interfering with getting a full night of rest. Today at 5, 12 on your size, Marilyn Moore is going to share the supplements you can pick up the next time you're at the pharmacy that studies have found can improve the quality of your sleep.
SA Live is downtown at historic Market Square. Do you have your own Loteria card yet?
Not yet.
Oh,
might get it pretty soon.
Look at that. You got a little baby.
Oh.
Precious. There's a lady that makes these Loteria cards, and we've got her adorable baby as well. And maybe she'll make one for you. I'd like one.
I just like to take a nap like the little baby.
Oh.
I need one of those.
It has been 20 years now, and police in Shirt still don't know who killed 55-year-old Samuel Fonstill. He was shot and killed on May 22nd, 2003. His father says he thinks about his son every day and would like closure by finding the person responsible. You can call the Guadalupe County Crime Stoppers if you have any information. The phone number 877-403-8255. 8477. Meantime, a renewed effort to find the killer of 22-year-old Joseph Vanales could end up with a big payday for somebody. 2 rewards for information leading to the arrest of the killer are being offered, totaling $30,000. Vanales died on April 15th when he was shot in the head. He was on his way home from a military ball. It was done apparently by another driver. That driver was in a dark-colored sports car with a loud exhaust. They think it might be a Nissan 350Z or 370Z. Crime Stoppers offering up to $5,000. The Army Criminal Investigation Division offering another $25,000. You can call the Army CID at 210-221-1050 or Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP if you have any information.
Overseas, German prosecutors say criminal procedure measures are taking place right now in Portugal in a renewed search for missing British girl Madeleine McCann. The 3-year-old vanished in southern Portugal back in 2007 while on vacation with her parents. Now, based on a new tip, investigators from 3 countries are combing through a wooded area around a remote reservoir to look for evidence that might explain what happened to her. Wilkes police divers and speedboats are at the site of the new search. Sources have told CNN affiliate CNN Portugal that the focus of the search is not underwater. A potentially dangerous situation in Washington, D.C. last night when authorities say a driver used a rented U-Haul truck to crash into a security barrier near the White House. ABC's Alexis Christophorous has more.
Law enforcement tells ABC News the driver of the U-Haul, identified as 19-year-old Cy Kandula, traveled from St. Louis to Dulles, where he rented the truck and drove to the White House. Witnesses saw the box truck speeding down D.C. streets just before 10 p.m. Then the driver crashed into a section of security barriers on the north side of Lafayette Square, across from the White House.
And the truck cut right in front of the path that I was going to take onto the sidewalk. So this was probably no more than 25 feet in front of me.
The truck then hit the barricades a second time.
Thought maybe it was just an accident, and then the U-Haul backed up and rammed it again.
After ramming the barrier, authorities say Kandula got out of the truck and began waving a flag with what appeared to be a swastika on it. And that's when officers from the U.S. Park Police detained him. The Secret Service cordoned off a multi-block perimeter surrounding the White House and the park. A bomb-detecting robot was used to sweep the rental truck, but no explosives were found. Sources tell ABC News the FBI interviewed Kandula and told law enforcement he wanted to seize power, take over the government, and kill the president. Authorities are also looking at Kandula's mental health as part of the investigation. Kandula is facing 5 charges, including assault with a dangerous weapon and threatening the president. No one was injured during the incident. Alexis Christophorous, ABC News, New York.
Going to take a live look outside with Live Cam. It's a pretty day out there, not for your hair, but you know, get out there. Enjoy this fresh air.
I was enjoying those low energy bills for a while. Not for much longer. It feels as though we're kind of turning the corner right into the heat, and it certainly will be hot the rest of this week. And that is the case for a large portion of the country, too. We're not the hottest place in the United States. You got to go to Phoenix for that. It's 90 there right now. Mid-80s in Florida. The cool stuff is up in Portland and Seattle, places that were baking last week, but have seen some cooler weather now. 54 Seattle, 55 Portland, 58 right now in Boise. Here in Texas, most of us are baking, with the exception being Amarillo. They're underneath cloud deck this afternoon, still at 65 there. That's not half bad for late May. You can see the clouds up there. Not a lot of rain, and we're not seeing a lot other than a few showers south and east of Dallas. As far as our rain chances tonight, yet we do have some, but it's all going to depend on what develops off to our north and west. So there is a small chance we could see a few storms affecting our area a little bit later overnight. Don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder, although I think the odds of that are pretty low. The extended forecast, we talked about this earlier. We'll see mid-80s going through the end of the week into the weekend. Coming up, we've got an anniversary to talk about. The big flood there from back in 2015. We'll have more on that for you coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Thanks, Justin. Crews had a tough time getting this unwelcome guest to leave their Texas neighborhood. How they were finally able to haul off a 1,200-pound alligator.
And it is a new way to perform heart surgery using a robot. Why doctors say it results in quicker recovery times for patients.